Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is Scootsy16 with the Elite Discord Tournament. If you have been following along, we have already witnessed two games in this tournament. One between the Thumpers and the Overdogs, the second between the Arctics and the Prowl. And this has been a very great experience, very fun so far for me to commentate and witness these games. This is the best of the best. This is a custom tournament created with all of the best players entered into a shuffle draft together, and with seven different individuals doing a shuffle draft through a Discord server, which did take a few weeks, we've been able to put together these teams. And today we will be watching the game between the Dirt Dogs, ran by the team Toast, and the Lockhorns, who were run by the Billy Yank, who you might see on either Reddit or I believe on Reddit you might see Billy Yank. So excited to see today's game. These two powerhouse teams have a lot to show for their draft, and let's go ahead and jump right into this game by starting with watching or seeing who the Dirt Dogs will be running out for their starting lineup. So all of the lineups are chosen by the AI, so no one makes a decision on their teams. We'll see how this ends up playing out. So leading off for the Dirt Dogs is Count Fellows, the right fielder, was the number 5 draft pick in this draft for the Dirt Dogs, really leading off with his contact trait and his arm very, very solid. Power, speed, and fielding also very good. So really solid across the board. Has a sprinter trait, which was not prioritized in this draft. So he will come out of the box just a little bit quicker. He's already fast, so he can get down the line pretty quickly. Secondly, Cedar Nielsen. Cedar was the number 2 pick for the Dirt Dogs, and as you can see, he has really solid arm at shortstop, which is really awesome to have. Really good power, solid contact, solid fielding, and a bit slower than every other trait or attribute here, but still pretty good speed. He's got the Mind Gaber trait, so that's going to see we'll see that kick in as he's facing off against the other pitchers, which can be really beneficial when all of these pitchers are so good. You'll also see that consistent trait, which just means his mojo is going to stay pretty much the same. And if he does get that locked in boost, we're likely to see him stay locked in for a long period of time and eventually get to on fire as well. Next is Stu Soto. Stu was the number 3 pick for the Dirt Dogs, and really, really attractive player here. At first base, you're looking for just a big hitter, and that's what he does. He hits the ball hard, really solid contact, and really great power as well. He is slow. He's got pretty solid fielding and a decent arm there at first base. Not that you have to worry about that too much, but look at that maxed out clutch trait, which will be very, very beneficial in this tournament, as we're likely to see some high pressure situations pretty often. So those stats you already see that look great, they're going to look even better in those unique circumstances. In the 3 spot, you see their catcher, Mario Griffin. Mario was drafted ninth overall for the Dirt Dogs. I'm sorry, not overall, but ninth pick for the Dirt Dogs. He's got really, really great power, not so great contact or speed, good fielding, good arm, but he has that maxed out RBI hero trait. So when there's a runner in scoring position, he's going to be doing some damage. So we'll see if he gets an opportunity to see that perk or that trait kick in during this game. In the DH spot is Sebastian Schaefer, another first baseman. Sebastian was drafted all the way down in the 17th round, and when you see that power, contact, and speed, it's pretty baffling to know he dropped that far, but that's just goes to show you how many good players were in this draft for us, all of us to choose from. In the 6th spot is center fielder Frank Bracketeer. Frank was drafted in the 13th round. Frank has the ability to play all positions except for pitcher and catcher, which can be beneficial if we need to make adjustments, even though his fielding isn't that great. Supreme speed here, good contact, good power, good arm. And so in center field, he should hold up pretty well there. Next in left field is Marcos Mackey or McMackey, and he gets the "Hey, I'm calling her" treatment with really great power, speed, and arm, but not great contact or fielding. And you see that he also has that Ace Exterminator trait, which throughout all of these videos, you've seen the players that have Exterminator have been able to use it pretty well. So we'll see if that continues today with Marcos McMackey. Marcos was drafted in the uh, there he is, the 18th round of this draft. So again, crazy to find these players that far down. Nick Everdale comes in third base. He's got a really great arm. Not that great of a fielder, but he's got solid speed and a good hitter all around as well. He'll have little hack as well as consistent become available to him, and uh, Everdale was drafted in the 14th round of the draft for the Dirt Dogs. In the ninth spot, Slide Armstrong will be their second baseman today. He does have butterfingers, but he is also a really great fielder with really great speed and solid hitting traits. He has distractors, so if he gets on base, he's going to be negatively impacting the pitcher's accuracy, but he doesn't have the strongest arm, which isn't terrible at second base, but that may prevent them from turning a few double plays here and there. Their starting pitcher for the Dirt Dogs is DeAndre Fleshman. This is the brother of if the Malachi Fleshman, who was on the oh god, what team was he on? Um, I'm trying to recall where we saw Malachi Fleshman. Oh yeah, he was playing for Overcooked's Overdogs, and Overcooked Overdogs, and so DeAndre and Malachi, they are brothers, and just like we saw the Luna sisters face off earlier, we might be able to see the Fleshman brothers face off. However, that would require them both to reach the championship game. Now, DeAndre was the number one pick for Toast in this draft, and you can see why with his workhorse trait, with his elite slider, with his two fastballs and two off-speed pitches to go with that extreme high junk, with that great accuracy, with that solid velocity, and him being a lefty, very attractive player to be signing in the draft. So that's your Dirt Dog team. And as we continue to move forward, and we now look at the home Lockhorns and see what their lineup's going to look like. So for Billy Yanks Lockhorns, we see that the number one batter for them is going to be Leland Pollard. Leland was drafted in the 16th round, and he has really good contact. He has good speed, and then above average power, fielding, and arm. Of course, fielding and arm don't apply here for him as the DH. In the number 2 spot is Ariadne Fitzpatrick. Ariadne was drafted number 5 for this team, and she is going to be playing left field, which is not her primary position. And as a poor fielder, this could be a liability for them. So we'll keep an eye out on how she does in left field during this game. She's an incredibly great speed. She has great speed. She has great contact. She has well above average power and arm. So really, the only liability for her is that fielding. So we'll see again if that impacts her. She also has the sprinter and dive wizard trait, so those can help her not only coming out of the box, but also helping to offset that poor fielding trait. Moving into the 3 spot is Uriel Sardi. He was drafted 14th in the 14th round for the Lockhorns with a really solid fielding, above average arm at shortstop, always something you're looking for. But he also has some decent speed. He has really great power, and about average to slightly below average contact, which with some of the players we've seen in this series so far has not negatively impacted them. Moving forward to J.R. Vang, that was their number 2 pick in this draft, was J.R. Vang, who's going to be playing right field, and he also is not a great fielder, but you'll see that he has supreme power, he has great contact, great speed, and a really great arm as well. He has the RBI hero trait, which can kick in that 4th spot pretty often, so we'll see if that plays a factor here. And he has Sign Stealer, which is at its lowest perk, so we might not see that play too much of a role in this game. In the fifth spot is first baseman Tobias Fox. This was the number one pick for the Lockhorns, and he has the utility trait, meaning that he can also play all of the outfield spots if necessary. Now, Tobias is known for his power, but he's above average in every other aspect of the game. So, really solid player to have as your cornerstone of the team, and he's in the five spot. Moving forward, we have Skylar Lynch. Skylar was their number three pick, and he has that contact versus right-handed pitchers. So we'll see. I do not believe no, because Fleshman is a lefty. This will not come into play. So we won't see that trait activated unless a bullpen player or a bullpen pitcher comes in. He's known for his speed and his fielding, but he is above average in other aspects of his game, and he's going to be patrolling a center field, which is pretty much what you want from your center fielder. Third baseman Rhett Santana is going to be playing in that 7 hole, and Rhett was drafted in the trying to get my he was drafted all the way in the 21st round, so he's their second to last draft pick, and he's going to be holding down third base, and with that arm you could see that he's probably going to make a few plays here and there with a really solid above average fielding. He's also a good hitter, but very, very slow. So we won't expect him to be doing much else, just diving for those plays. He does have power versus right-hander. Once again, won't be activated unless a bullpen pitcher comes in for this game. He also has tough out, which can help him to really avoid, avoid striking out during this game. In the 8th spot is Gabriel Blanchard. Gabriel was drafted in the 12th round, and he is pretty much average across the board or slightly above average across the board at second base. He's probably got the strongest arm of all the second basemen in this tournament. Don't quote me on that. We might see that change, but really solid fielder. That's what he's known for, but he can wield his own with the bat as well. And in the 9th spot is Emerson Smith. Emerson was drafted in the 15th round, and he has really great contact. He is a phenomenal catcher with a superb arm. Very slow, not much power, and he does have tough out, which will take that contact pretty much to maxed out if we see that come into play there. For them, their pitcher is going to be Dirth Hughes. Dirth was their 7th round pick. It was not their first starting pitcher drafted. That was actually Amos Erickson. So we might actually see Amos Elliston was their number 1 starting pitcher, but the AI has chosen Dirth to be their ace for today. So with him leaning on his accuracy, his velocity and junk are right above average. He has 4 pitches, 1 fastball, 3 off speed. So we'll see if that accuracy really is their ticket to glory in this game. But that is the Lockhorns. And again, facing off against the the Dirt Dogs. We will see this game kick off at Stade Royale, which is the home of the Lockhorns. So we'll see how these two teams face off against each other. You'll see that the Dirt Dogs are known for their power and their speed, really solid rotation, good contact, and their worst attribute being defense. Then you see the Lockhorns are known for their extreme contact rating and some above average skills in other areas. So we'll see how these two teams face off against each other, starting with Count Fellows for the Dirt Dogs against Dirth Hughes. And on the first pitch, Count Fellows puts that one into left center field. One hops the wall. Fitzpatrick gets to it quickly, and that's a real easy stand-up double for Fellows to lead off this game. So if this is any indication of what we're going to be seeing, this could be a very, very interesting and sudden game for Billy Yanks Lockhorns if Dirth isn't able to figure things out. And on the second pitch of the game, that ball is just foul, just misses the foul pole. Cedar Nelson almost put that one out. And finally, as he takes a ball, Dirth is happy to be able to settle in slightly, but he's actually able to get Cedar to chase on that pitch all the way inside. And so he's already thrown some junk his way, and it paid off there. Here comes Stu Soto. And we don't see clutch activated here, but he doesn't need it to be a good hitter. So Dearth is going to have to be very careful to pitch around Soto in this situation, especially with the runner already in scoring position. And it's an 0-2 count for Dearth Hughes. And takes ball inside. That was a pitch that Nelson's chased earlier. Soto grounds that one to shortstop, and the shortstop alertly tosses over to third base as the runner was going on the hit. And after a few back and forths, Sardi is able to chase down Fellows for out number 2. So very big turn of events as Soto grounds out to short, but the runner was trying to advance to third, and they were able to catch him in a rundown. So we do not have speed on the bases here. And here comes Mario Griffin, who, if they were playing smart, they could have had their RBI hero activated here, and it is not because that runner did make a mistake on the base paths. 2-2 count. Dearth Hughes hoping to get out of this unscathed after giving up 2 hits. Full count. Stu Soto is going, and that ball is blooped into, oh goodness, that ball was blooped into left field, and you saw them trying to make the slide there. Fitzpatrick was trying to get to it, but did not get there in time, and the ball bounced in front of her. So now we have 2 runners on. The pressure does kick up a notch, so you see Soto's clutch kicking in as Sebastian Schaefer comes to the plate. And he pops that one up, and they're able to camp under it, and Fox is able to catch that one easily for out number 3. So what looked like a very rough start to this game with a leadoff double and then a almost home run down the right field line, Hughes can breathe a sigh of relief going into the bottom of the first, where the Lockhorns are trying to see what they can do against the Dirt Dogs. And they swing at the first pitch, but that one goes straight to the second baseman. Easy toss over to first. So Ariadne Fitzpatrick, not known for her fielding, but actually for her hitting, comes up, and we'll see what she can do here. She does line that one straight to Soto for out number 2. He catches that one right about his knees. And so after 2 down, Uriel Sardi comes up. He does have low contact compared to his power. So we'll see if he's able to make contact with one. If he does, it's probably going to go a long way. But Fleshman is trying to get out of this one without having to worry about any runners on base. 2-2 count with 2 outs. And that ball gets blasted to left center field. And it looks like it's going to hold up right before the warning track, and Bracketeer is there to catch it for out number 3. So nothing going for the Lockhorns. And so Dearth Hughes, who got a chance to sigh relief of no runners being scored, kind of sat down and immediately had to get back up and grab his glove because that inning went way faster than he expected it to. So he's going to have to try and see if he can settle in here. And Sardi is there, tosses that over easily to Fox for the out. 6-3 if you're scoring at home, but that's out number 1. And Marcos McMackey, we talked about him having Ace Exterminator. That's active here. We'll see if this comes into play and impacts him. He has that really low contact, but that slight boost may be the difference. And that ball had a charge put into it, but it went right to Lynch out there in center field for out number 2. So luckily he didn't get underneath that one more, or that one's probably easily out of here, even to dead center. And that ball goes right between short and third. We talked about the third baseman not having much range over there, and it kind of showed itself right there. And so they have a runner on with 2 outs. Some good speed there, but again, that catcher behind the plate is going to be holding those runners pretty closely, as Emerson does have a 94 rated arm, which is top tier in this entire league, which is really hard to say for how talented all these players are. And Dearth pulls a string on him, and he gets him to swing through it. So giving up another base hit, again, nothing happens, and the Lockhorns, maybe this is their opportunity to try and press reset on their offense and figure something out. Coming up with their 4, 5, 6 hitters. And he does get the Science Stealer, which has the lowest chance to activate. It's an off-speed pitch, but he gets underneath it, and McMackey is camped underneath for out number 1 here in the second inning. So here's the number 1 pick for the Lockhorns, Tobias Fox. Maybe he's going to be the captain to get this team settled in and get them the chance to get a little bit of offensive action going. If you watched last game, you saw the Arctics and the Prowl, and that was a 2-0 game. And so very great pitchers matchup, and we might see that happening here today. As Fox grounds out to Armstrong, tosses over to Soto easily for out number 2. All right, Skylar Lynch coming up, their center fielder. Great speed, but let's see if he can find a hole so that he can take advantage of it. And Fleshman, the first round pick for Toast's Dirt Dogs, really showing his worth in this game so far against a really daunting Lockhorns lineup. And Lynch puts a charge into that one. It's going into the deepest part of the park, and Bracketeer is able to chase that one down for out number 3. That hung up a little too long. If he is able to get on top of that just a little bit more, that's an easy double at least. And because it was so deep, you might have seen that turn into a triple with how fast that Lynch is. So here comes the top of the order again. Count Fellows, who blasted the first pitch he saw into the left center field gap for a double. He puts a charge into that one too, but pulls it foul. Count 0-2 right now, and he takes one inside. Darth Hughes has got to be feeling a little bit better, but he might get nervous here looking at the top of the order once again, and he's now worked a full count. And Fellows is able to put that one right over the second baseman. Lynch is able to get to it quickly, and that could have been worse, but they're able to get it in to avoid that being extra bases. So Fellows, 2 for 2 today, with a double and a single. And here comes Cedar Nelson, who almost put one out down the right field line his last at-bat. We'll see if he can get some contact and keep it fair. That one goes foul. 1-1 count. He does have Mind Gamer, so you see that Hughes' accuracy is a little bit lower. And that ball goes right up the middle for a base hit. Lynch is able to get it in pretty quickly. Sardi grabs that one, and we now have some action for the Dirt Dogs. And in a very interesting set of circumstances, we now see Stu Soto coming up with clutch activated, so both power and contact are above 100. And this is not who you want to see in this circumstance, especially with no out. So last time Stu grounded out to first. Let's see if Hughes can get out of this jam he put himself into. This top of the order has really been giving him problems in just a couple of innings already. And Soto swings through that pitch. It was inside. It was low. It was not a good pitch to hit. And he chased, and that's out number 1. And here comes Mario Griffin, another guy you do not want to see up right now, who has maxed out RBI Hero activated. And he swings at the first pitch. It goes foul. Power is maxed out. Contact is now above average. It's 1-2 count. Let's see if he can figure it out here. He fights that one off. It goes foul as well. So you can see Hughes' stamina, his pitch count's getting up there. And he's able, Mario tosses it. Oh my goodness. Sardi tossed it to second to try and get the close out, and they weren't able to get there in time. So now Mario Griffin, the catcher, is able to leg out an infield single. And now bases are loaded with 1 out, and Sebastian Schaefer comes up to bat, their DH. Can he make something happen? Or can Hughes get out of this? Again, that third baseman is a liability with his low speed. He doesn't have much range. And so we just play station to station, but that does break the 0-0 tie, and the Dirt Dogs take the lead 1-0. Bases still loaded with 1 out, and Bracketeer is up. He was 0 for 1 today so far. And Darth Hughes starting to feel the pressure. He's up to about 60 pitches. And that ball, Blanchard's able to dive, toss it over to first, and they're able to get the second out, but a runner scores on that one as well. So 2 in scoring position for Marcos McMackey with a 2-0 lead, and that's enough for Darth Hughes as Guadalupe Austin comes in to relieve him. Now, Guadalupe, who was drafted in the 11th round as a righty, she has really great junk to couple with her curveball and slider. No traits to see here, and she gives up another base hit. Vang gets that one in quickly to avoid the runner from second trying to score here as well. But this game is starting to get out of hand for the Lockhorns, as the Dirt Dogs have now put up 3 runs in this inning, still with 2 outs and runners on the corners. Guadalupe gives up once again another base hit, and that's the 4th runner to score. The Dirt Dogs seem to have figured out this Lockhorns pitching staff, and let's see if Slide Armstrong is going to keep that line moving, as Guadalupe Austin is 2 batters in and already tense. 2-0 count here to Armstrong, and gets him to chase that one, as that was going to go out of, or was going to be a ball as well. And now we see a full count. Runners will be running, and fouls that one off. Runners are going here again with a full count and 2 outs, and induces the walk. So Slide Armstrong was patient, fought off a couple of pitches, and we now see bases loaded again for Count Fellows, who 2 for 2 with a double and a single to start this game. We're still in the 3rd inning, folks. 2 outs, bases loaded. Count Fellows, who's been doing really well so far today, facing off against Guadalupe Austin, who's struggling. That ball goes straight to Fox. Fox touches first to get them out of the inning, and the Lockhorns, they need to figure out what they're going to do here, because Fleshman has been throwing a hell of a game, and he now has a 4-run lead. So if the Lockhorns are going to do something, this is the time to get it done, as these games do go by really quickly with 6 innings. And Fleshman is locked in. He's also a workhorse. Now, it is a minimum buff there, but it still is going to make a difference, especially in this game. And they're able to get the broken bat pop up behind the plate, and Griffin's catching that for out number 1. So number 8 hitter in the order, Gabriel Blanchard, comes in, and Fleshman is pretty much acting like he's 27 pitches into this right now. So he is just cruising through this game. But we see that ball get pushed out into left center field, and that gets out of here. And the Lockhorns are not done just yet, as that ball goes about 404 feet for a home run, and Blanchard gets the first run of the game for the Lockhorns, the first game of the tournament, and maybe that was the monkey they needed to get off their back, as we now see Emerson Smith see his first at-bat of the game here in the 3rd inning. And Blanchard may have given them all a collective sigh of relief, being able to break through on Fleshman. But that ground out to short brings us to the top of the order. Leland Pollard comes up with a 4-1 deficit, 2 outs. We'll see if he can get a little 2-out rally going against Fleshman. The ball goes just foul past the first base bag, fighting off another pitch with a 1-2 count, and chases that one outside for strike 3. So 1 run on the home run from Blanchard, and the Lockhorns are going to need to do more than that. But before they come back up to the plate, they're going to have to figure out if they can calm this Dirt Dogs offense down. And Guadalupe Austin is now being even more impacted because of the Mind Gamer trait, but she does induce a pop out behind first base for Tobias Fox to catch for out number 1. Now, Stu Soto, we expected to see much more out of him. He's had opportunities to be successful here, but he's 0 for 2 on the day. One of those outs came with bases loaded, which they really relied on him. Luckily, the rest of the team was able to cover for him, but 3-1 count here. What can he do? He takes that one, strike 2. Fights that one off foul with a full count. That pop-up goes behind the plate, and it looks like there's just enough room for Smith to catch that for out number 2. Mario Griffin comes up. He does not have RBI Hero activated this time, but he's gone 2 for 2 with 2 singles today. So see if he can keep his batting average perfect, and he does with another single right past Guadalupe for the base hit, and she just lost her mojo once again. She's back to tense. And with 2 outs, out goes Austin, and here comes Josiah Marzo. Marzo was drafted in the 20th round, and right out of the gate, he beans Schaefer. So I don't know if he just kind of said, you all need to stop it, or if he lost a little bit of control there, but he goes tense immediately. And this does not look good for the Lockhorns. With 2 outs, there's 2 runners on, some speed on first base, and Bracketeer comes up, who's 0 for 2, but does have an RBI, and he grounds that one out to Blanchard. Blanchard tosses over to Fox for out number 3. So, not sure what happened with Marzo there. We'll have to see if we can catch him after the game and find out whether that was just an accident or if there was something more sinister behind that pitch to hit Schaefer. Luckily, it got him right in the hip, which is essentially where you want to hit him to avoid any damage. And that ball is going right towards the foul line, and it hits off the foul pole for a home run. So the Lockhorns are able to keep the momentum going just a little bit on offense as Fitzpatrick puts that one down the left field line for a 373-foot home run for her first of the game. And now it is a 4-2 ball game here in the 4th inning. So will the Lockhorns be able to work their way back into this game? Sardi swings at the first pitch. Everdale tosses over to Soto for out number 1. And here comes their number 4 hitter, J.R. Vang. This is a guy they need to get going, especially if they want to try and get back into this one. Now, Fleshman's still cruising pretty well with that workhorse trait. He's holding up his stamina really well. He's also been able to keep that Lockhorns offense at bay outside of 2 mistakes. Vang grounds out to Nielsen, tosses over to first for out number 2. And here comes Tobias Fox. Listen, this is your captain, right? So if you're the Lockhorns, you know that you're driven by the success of your captain. So 0 for 1 so far. Can Tobias Fox get this team going? And it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Fleshman versus Fox. And that ball goes just past Nielsen into center field for a base hit. So Fox is able to find a hole and to get on base. And so Skylar Lynch, who's also 0 for 1, gets an opportunity to just kidding. Instead, Raiden Gaines comes in for his first at-bat. Lefty with phenomenal power, really great contact, and they are trying to make something happen in this one as soon as possible. They're taking the opportunity. Gaines gets a hold of that one, but goes straight up. Camped under it is Bracketeer catching that for out number 3. So another solo shot puts this game at 4-2. But if they're going to keep catching up, then they need to make sure that they prevent the Dirt Dogs from scoring any more runs. So Raiden Gaines goes to first, and Tobias Fox goes out to center field. That utility kicking in here, giving them the opportunity to get a pinch hitter in. And McMackey comes in, and we don't see Ace Exterminator activated here as Marzo is a B-rated pitcher, and he gets a strikeout on McMackey for out number 1. Nick Everdale 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI scored in that that station-to-station inning a couple of innings ago, and he flies out to right field easy for out number 2. Slide Armstrong 0 for 1. He did walk earlier in this game on a really patient at-bat. And swings at the first pitch there. Blanchard tosses over to Gaines for out number 3. So Josiah, who came in and plunked the first batter he saw, has set down the next 4 consecutive batters. And so maybe this is the space that they need to try and catch up here. So starting with Red Santana, who swings at the first pitch, pops up. Mario Griffin sitting there, easily catches that for out number 1. And Gabriel Blanchard is coming up to the plate locked in. He is 1-for-1 with a home run and an RBI. So this is where the pressure gets to be the highest here in the bottom of the fifth. With one out, Blanchard hit a home run earlier. Can he keep himself going against Fleshman? He pops that one right over second base, but Armstrong is able to get back to it in time to catch it for out number 2. So we get to the last batter in the order, Emerson Smith, 0-for-1 today. Has really good contact, but very slow, no power whatsoever. And so can he stay alive to try and bring it around to the top of the order again? He takes strike 2, and tough out kicks in, maxing out his contact, and somehow it doesn't matter as he swings through strike 3. That was low and outside, but it was close enough for him to chase. And the Dirt Dogs come up here in the top of the 6th with their last chance to try and tack on to that lead. 2 runs may not be enough, especially in the tournament setup like this. And if anyone's going to do something, it's going to be Fellows, who's 2-for-3 with a double and a single. And he really had Hughes' number earlier today, but he got out in his last at-bat, and let's see if Marzo can finish him off. Takes that one just below the zone for ball 3. That ball goes foul, so with a full count, that ball lines to right field. Vang's able to catch that just below his waist for out number 1. So they've been able to keep Fellows at bay after that, those first 2 at-bats. Josiah 20 pitches in, and he's starting to feel the stamina kick in as his attributes are starting to decrease. And you got to wonder, is there anyone else in that bullpen you might want to look to here, especially going through the heart of their order? Cedar Nelson, with a 1-2 count, grounds out to Gaines, who steps on the bag himself for out number 2. And here you go. Maxed out clutch in a extreme pressure situation, and that's what it looks like. Almost maxed out contact and power. His speed starts to be something you have to be worried about, as it's about average now. So with a 2-1 count, what's Soto going to do? Who has been 0-for-3 today so far. And he takes a walk there, and I think Marzo's just happy that Soto did not swing at a ball during that at-bat. So with Mario Griffin locked in, you're seeing his attributes increased as well. And James Elliott finally comes in to replace Marzo. And with 2 outs, they just need to get this last batter so they can come up to bat. And that ball gets past Vang. They're going to throw it in, but that's a single for Mario, and the runner is able to advance to third on, I would say, not a misplay, but on a bit of an awkward situation for Vang out there in right field on a ball that was hit pretty hard. So Sebastian Schaefer comes up. His last at-bat was him just getting plunked in the hip, and he swings at the first pitch here, and Fitzpatrick is able to camp under that for out number 3. So even though Mario Griffin tried to make a difference here, his base hit and that runner advancing to third did not make much of a difference. And here's the last chance for the Lockhorns. They get to have their top of the order come up, 1, 2, 3 hitters. That ball looked like it went right through his knees. And Fleshman's still out there, 65th pitch right there, and his stamina's at about 1/3 left. And Pollard puts a charge into that one, and he's not going to be able to get to it in time. Bracketeer dives, but he's not able to get there. And Pollard's going for 3, and he's able to get in there standing up with a triple on a ball into the deepest part of the park. And holy moly, this game is getting so interesting all of a sudden. In the bottom of the 6th with no outs, Fitzpatrick comes up, who already hit a home run down the left field line, hitting the foul pole. This is the player you want to see come up at this point. Fleshman's starting to get gassed. You can see his attributes are reflecting that, but they're keeping him in for right now. And Fitzpatrick's just making him work for this one, and now worked the count full. And does not chase at that one, and she walks, and she's just like, yeah, try me, bitch. As she walks down to first base, and Fleshman's starting to get irritated. Have the Lockhorns gotten into his head? And they decide to pull him here as Conrad Driver comes out for the hopeful save. And Fleshman tried to finish it off. He actually told his coach to go sit back down when he started to walk out there, but no, coach was not having it. This is a time to turn to your bullpen ace. And Conrad Driver, the when was he drafted? He gets the strikeout on Sardi, and we get to J.R. Vang, who has that RBI hero trait activated here. And oh, I'm looking at the wrong team. My apologies. Vang comes up and puts a charge into that one to dead center field, and Bracketeer dives for that one and is not able to get to it, and the runner is going to score, and oh my god, bases clearing double for J.R. Vang, and this game is all tied up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Conrad Driver, by the way, was drafted in the 20th round as an A- pitcher. Just to give you a perspective. And here comes the captain, Tobias Fox. Can he get the walk-off here? 2-1 count for Tobias Fox. Takes strike 2, 2-2, 1 out. Swings through strike 3 as they pulled the string, slowed him down, and he was way ahead of that one. So here comes Raiden Gaines, who came in to replace Lynch in his last at-bat. And this is their hope to try and get out of this game. And that ball went through his arms, so I don't know what the heck's going on here. Ball 3, 3-0 count. Does he get the green light here? He takes ball 4, so doesn't even tempt him with that pitch. And here comes Rhett Santana, who has power versus right-hander activated. And boy, is the pressure high. And boy, is this intense. With 2 outs, can Rhett Santana finish this one off? And Driver is just holding on for dear life as he's trying to get out of this inning without giving up another run. 2-1 count. Santana swings at that one and fouls it off against the net. Tough out gets activated here, so his contact goes up to 100, but he swings through that one, and he is pissed as his back gets destroyed. And this is the first game we get to see the auto runner come into play. And so now we head to the top of the 7th, and the Dirt Dogs with a speedy runner on second base. And James Elliott comes up for the Lockhorns, trying to hold this Dirt Devils team, who scored all 4 of those runs in 1 inning. And that ball grounds to, oh, what? That ball grounded to the shortstop, and he just almost, I don't know why he didn't tag the runner on second base. He had an easy double play there, but he tosses it over to first for out number 1. And here comes Tiger Avalos. Yeah, maxed out clutch activated here in this high pressure, extreme pressure situation. So he is a threat, and the crowd is really getting into this one. That ball is looped over, and it gets right over third base, and their runner is going home, and that ball is not going to get there in time, and Tiger Avalos is able to get that run in from second base on a bloop over third base, and Fitzpatrick just could not get there in time. So they do go up 5-4. Avalos over there at first base has 100 speed over there due to the clutch being maxed out. And that ball gets blasted. It's going deep to left field, and it's going to get out of here. And this ball game may have gotten broken open as Nick Everdale puts that out 407 feet over the left field wall for his first home run. And that's a 2-run shot, putting this game at 7-4. My heartbeat is racing right now. Holy moly, I can't believe this game is going the way that it is. This has been so much fun. And Armstrong puts a charge, but it goes straight to Fox in center field for out number 2. So we wrap around to the top of the order. Count Fellows, who went 2 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, is now 0 for 2 in his last 2. And he puts a charge into that one. Left center field, it's going to be deep. It's going to be really close. Tobias Fox jumps for it, but it's not close as he puts that one out. And Count Fellows now 3 for 5, 420 feet for his first home run of the tournament. And it is now 8-4 Dirt Dogs. And we're not done yet. And I don't know why Elliott is still in this game. The 17th rounder is still trying to fight for his life, and there are other pitchers on in that bullpen right now, but finally the mercy they put them out of their misery as that one flies out to right center field for out number 3. So 4 runs scored in the top of the 7th. And what are the Lockhorns going to do to respond as Gabriel Blanchard comes up, who already did hit a home run? And you can see that Tiger Avalos is sitting in left field and he's out of position as he's only a shortstop. So can the Lockhorns take advantage of that pitcher or that player being out of position in left field? Max pressure here. Gabriel is trying to fight this off with his contact versus righty, and he puts that one right past the first baseman for for a base hit, and I forgot the runner was on second base, and that one the right fielder throws it to home, and they finally replace Conrad Driver with Omari Nichols, who comes in with really great stuff, great accuracy, great velocity, and 3 pitches to work with: a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. And that one pops up. Is it going to get out of play? It just goes out of play. And Emerson Smith is still alive. Their 9-hitter makes some good contact. That bounces off the glove of the second baseman. Armstrong tosses over to first, but not in time, and he loses mojo there. Oh my goodness. The runner scores, so it is now 8-5 with 2 on and no out for Leland Pollard, who in his last at-bat did get a triple, and he grounds that first pitch up the middle. Racketeer is coming up throwing, and the runner has to hold. So now bases are loaded with no outs, and Ariadne Fitzpatrick comes up with a home run and a walk, and she's trying to get the crowd into it, and she's starting to feel it. So Omari Nichols versus Ariadne Fitzpatrick. What is going to happen here with the bases loaded and no outs? And Fitzpatrick puts a charge into that one. Fellows gets it pretty quickly and is able to get it in. And that is a single. And the bases are still loaded with no outs. And we see that the score is now 8-6. So the Lockhorns are not done yet. And smartly, they do end up changing to Rebecca Andrade, who has clutch. And this is a clutch situation. Really good contact and power. Pretty solid speed as well. And she puts... Oh my God. Oh my God. This was by far the best game of the tournament so far. And I hope you all witnessed that. Go back and rewind. What a clutch situation, and holy moly, I cannot believe the way this game played out. That is a 10-8 ball game in 7 innings, the Lockhorns over the Dirt Dogs. And the way that this game was going, the way that Fleshman was pitching for the first 5 innings or so, like, did anyone expect this to go this way? They had a 4-2 lead going into the bottom of the 6th, and the Lockhorns, who never say die, they're the Goonies out there, they're able to put 2 runs to tie the game in the 6th inning, and then going into the 7th, they give up 4 runs. So they're down by 4 heading into the bottom of the 7th, and then they end up scoring 6. Holy moly. On a grand slam from Rebecca Andrade. I'm just telling you right now, I've never enjoyed this baseball game more than just watching these games, as they've all played out in so many different ways. This is 3 games so far. All of them have been great for different reasons. Looking over the lineups here, I don't even know what to say. Like, Fellows had a great game, triple shy of the cycle, hitting a home run, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Nielsen did score a run, but didn't make too much of a name for himself. Soto struggled. Absolutely would have expected more coming out from him, but luckily Mario Griffin picked up the slack. 4 for 4 for him today with a run scored. Schaefer did okay, 1 for 3. He actually got hit by a pitch, got hit in an RBI, scored 2 runs. Bracketeer had a tough day. McMackey, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Avalos came in, base hit, single, scored a run. He had a good day, and he didn't get challenged in left field at all, which is wild that they put a shortstop in left field. Nick Everdale, really great game, 3 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs. That's pretty much the player of the game for the Dirt Dogs on the offensive side of things. For the Lockhorns, 2 for 4 for Pollard. He came up huge, 2 runs being scored. Fitzpatrick, 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, a home run, 2 RBIs, got a walk as well. She was getting on base. She was making a lot happen. Sardi had a tough game, but he got pulled at the right time, and Andrade comes in, one at bat, hits the grand slam in a clutch situation. And clutch wasn't maxed out for the Lockhorns, so that wasn't even as good as it could have been if that team chemistry works in a different way. Thang comes up huge in that sixth inning, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Fox had a hit. Would have expected more from him. Lynch went 1 for 2 before being replaced by Gaines, who also, I'm sorry, 0 for 1 for Lynch before being replaced by Gaines, who actually took a walk there in the seventh inning as well. Santana 0 for 3. Blanchard had a good game, 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. And then Emerson Smith came up with a base hit there at the end when they needed it that scored an RBI, or that allowed for an RBI, and then he scored on that home run. So I'm just still so reeling so much from this game. That was so wild. On the pitching side of things, Fleshman, he gets the no decision, and this was a really interesting game because he could have easily pitched a complete game here with 2 runs being allowed. Instead, he goes 5 innings. He gives up 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and 2 home runs, both solo shots. Conrad Driver comes in, only pitches 1 inning, gets 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. So he actually had a pretty solid game. But Omari Nichols, who you would not expect to struggle the way he did, ends up giving up 4 hits, 4 earned runs, and that grand slam. He gets the loss. For the Lockhorns, Sirth Hughes had a tough game himself, only 2 and 2/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Austin comes in. She did not look great, but she ended up not managing to give up a run at all. In 1 inning, she gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, and did not give up a run somehow. Marzo, same thing, 2 innings. He did not give up any hits. He walked 1 batter. I don't know if that counts for the hit by pitch. So it's either a hit by pitch instead of a walk, or a walk and a hit by pitch. He also struck out 1. And then Elliott comes in, 1 1/3 inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. They should have absolutely pulled him sooner, but they didn't. He gave up 2 home runs, 3 earned runs, and he actually ends up getting the win, which he absolutely did not deserve. But this game, absolutely bananas. Nick Everdale gets the player of the game, which should absolutely go to Rebecca Andrade for that grand slam and the game winner. But Nick Everdale, 3 for 4 with that home run and 3 RBIs. Ariadne Fitzpatrick, 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored, and then the grand slam by Andrade. She comes in, she gets the job done, she goes home. What an exciting game. I hope you all are enjoying this series so far. Again, please subscribe. Make sure that you have notifications on, so when these games come up when these games get posted, you're able to know and you're able to watch them as soon as possible. I'm really excited about this next game that's coming up because that Sewer Sneaks team is a completely AI drafted team, and we will be facing off against my drafted Buzzwings. So very excited to see how this game plays out. And I'm very much crossing my fingers that the Buzzwings are going to have a really great game. So thank you all so much for watching. Love to hear your feedback. This game was wild. Let me know what was your favorite part, and we'll talk to you all next time. Bye, everyone.